Go Pies. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen me before. Some of you guys have. You probably know I'm kind of most famous on the open mic circuit for doing this set about Anthony Kiedis and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And a lot of people have said that that particular 7 minutes is possibly the greatest 7 minutes of comedy that anyone's ever done, ever, since the beginning of time in the history of the world. But I'm not going to do it today because Dave said it wouldn't be fair to the others. And I said, oh, look, I would, like, you know, but he said, no, don't do it. And I said, well, can I do a highlights package? And he said, yeah, you can do a highlights package, which is good because I want to do the sequel to that set, right? And I've been working on that because, like, no matter how good that set is, I'm not going to be able to fill Rod Laver Arena on just 7 minutes. I'm going to have to at least get like 15 minutes, I reckon. So anyway, I'll just tell you a bit about that, the highlights, and I'll give you a backstory, and then I'll do the new bit. So. Alright, so I was at a dinner party right now. Does everyone here knows what a dinner party is like? Yeah? Like you guys, young people over here probably don't. Because like us old guys, back in our day, right, we used to go to dinner parties, so like, you know, you go, you might meet someone, and if a bit of luck, you might get a bit of action later in the night. But like the young people, like people on their phones and that, like they don't have to do that these days, do they? Because they've got their phones, and then they just they just take a photo of their dick or their vagina, and then they send it to each other by Instagram, and then they arrange to meet up at like at a bus stop or a tram shelter or a fucking 7-Eleven, and then they have it like, you know, it doesn't really matter where, as long as there's a wheelie bin where they can have a quick word, and then they just get on their bus, train or whatever and head on down to Centrelink, pick up their check. So let's assume we all know what dinner parties, right? So I'm at this dinner party, and they were talking. The topic came up, and it was like, who's the greatest songwriters of all decades? You know, like, and I was really interested in the '90s, right? Because that was back when I was cool and young and had hope. And like, don't worry, you think you're good now. Wait till you hit 30, it's just a fucking downward slope. You're on a cliff. And then one day you wake up and you're 55 years old and you're lying in bed just looking at the ceiling going, and the only thing you've got to look forward to is like a couple of times a month you go to some weird little bar somewhere and you tell jokes to strangers who sit there in the dark and judge you. Anyway, so someone at the dinner party, they go, Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the greatest songwriter of the 90s. And I'm like, really? Anthony Kiedis? So I went back and I looked at some of his songs, and the song that I looked at was Give It Away, right? And I'm like, yeah, and then I do this whole bit about that, and I tell a story, I break down the song and everything, and eventually, somehow at the end of it, my dad gets sexually assaulted by the Red Hot Chili Peppers on the back nine of Victoria Golf Course, right? So it's like art. And so anyway, so that's that. So then I thought, well, fuck, you know, I need a sequel to that. So I thought, oh, I'm on a good thing with that topic. So why don't I try a different decade and get a different songwriter, right? And so I thought, I'll do the 70s. So I thought about Elton, but he didn't really write the stuff. It was Bernie Taupin. And then David Bowie, but then there was all the heroin years and all that stuff. And then I thought, oh, bang, I got a light bulb moment. I thought, I'll go to the King of the Jews, Neil Diamond. Right? So, now, all our age, like anyone was born like late 60s, early 70s and that, you all know, you would have just heard Hot August Night on a loop. Mum and Dad have all their friends in the kitchen, they'd all be smoking and drinking out of long necks. And we'd be playing cricket or something in the middle of the night on the road. We're not allowed to do that anymore. Anyway, so I looked at it, I thought, fuck yeah, Neil Diamond. So I looked up, so I picked one of Neil's songs, right? And I'm going to break it down, and you are watching art being created here, right? So the song I've chosen is Porcupine Pie, right? So this is how it goes if you haven't heard it. Porcupine pie, porcupine pie, porcupine pie. Right? You see what he's done there? Like he's done the title of the song in the first three. He's repeated it 3 times. So that's marketing genius. Like he's branded his own song. Right? No wonder I went to number 1. And then he goes, vanilla soup, a double scoop, please. And you're like, what does that mean? And then he goes, no, maybe I won't, maybe I won't, maybe I will. Right? So he's a bit indecisive, isn't he? Because you would be. You've got Amanda over there, like, she might be, you guys would be at this table here and you're like, oh, and they go, oh, what's the special? And you go, oh, it's the they go, it's a porcupine pie with the vanilla soup. And you'd be like, oh, I'm not going to have that. But then this table might have ordered the porcupine pie with the vanilla soup, right? And then you're like looking over going, hang on a sec, maybe I will have the porcupine pie and the vanilla soup. And I think that's what Neil was alluding to there. Anyway, and then he goes on about the tutti fruit with the fruity blue cheese. And I think that's when the acid started kicking in. So, anyway, that's about as far as I've gone with that. Like, but what I'll do, I'll take that set and I'll work on it. I'll go around regional Victoria and I'll add things to it, like jokes, and then by the time I get to, like, say, Dimboola, that will go viral, right? In Dimboola. So, anyway, have I got a couple more minutes, Dave?
Go!
Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave, but I just want to tell you, this is the best joke I heard last year. I didn't write it, right? So there's any neoliberal fascists from the fucking open mic circuit in Melbourne, you know, yeah, he's not doing original material. No, I'm not. I'm just, this is a joke that I heard, right? But I love it. All right. So Little Johnny, he wakes up in the middle of the night, he can't sleep, he hears some noise downstairs, he goes downstairs, he goes into his parents' room, and he opens the door and he's like, oh, and there's Mum and Dad and they are going for it. Like, their Dad's wearing a cowboy hat, he's got chaps on, Mum's got a cheerleader uniform on, and it is happening. And little Johnny goes, what's going on here? And the Dad goes, get out here, what are you doing? Get out of the room, you get back upstairs. So he goes and he goes back, he goes, I'll see you in 20 minutes. So he goes back to his room and that. And then Mum and Dad kept going, they finished, and it's about 20 minutes later, and Dad goes upstairs and hears noise in the room, and he opens the door, and there's little Johnny with his grandma just going for it. And then Dad goes, what the hell's happening here? And little Johnny looks up and he goes, see, it's not so funny when it's your mum.